What's poppin', everybody? Back with another video. In this video we got Stephen A. Smith completely losing it, having a meltdown over T.O. retweeting an old clip of him and Max Kellerman. So Stephen A. recently went on the Joe Budden podcast, and of course they asked him about how some fans think that he did Max dirty, you know, getting him kicked off of ESPN, getting him kicked off the show. And Stephen A. just, like he always does, he just went in on it and said, like, I didn't like working with him. I didn't like him. We didn't have any chemistry. The show was stale. You know, his usual response anytime he gets asked about Max. And that started a lot of backlash because I feel like most people really enjoy Max as an analyst, a sports analyst. And Stephen A. was trying to say he didn't, you know, Max never played sports at a high level. He never was a journalist. And fans that love Max, they just didn't care. They kind of saw through that, and memes was going crazy. And then somebody posted a clip when Terrell Owens said that Max was blacker than Stephen A. And I remember this, and Stephen A. was so livid. He was pissed off about this.
I'm in the streets. Max almost seems blacker than you, Stephen A. with what he's coming, you know, with his commentary.
With all due respect, my brother.
I'm just saying, dog.
Wait a minute. Wait to finish.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna check you right now. You don't cross the line.
I'm just saying.
Time. Wait a minute. You don't cross the line.
So that got retweeted, and then T.O. retweeted it and put facts. Stephen A. saw this and went ballistic. I mean, he went ballistic. Read these tweets. So Stephen A. said, and now, as for this dude, that's an entirely different story. You know how I feel about your sorry ass Terrell Owens, and you know why. You should thank your heavenly father I haven't zeroed in on you with all the trifling shit you tried to pull. Tell folks to ask ESPN what your desperate ass tried to pull. Keep on talking. Eventually, you'll expose yourself. Real facts. Wow. So Stephen A. went ballistic. He went off on Terrell, and it didn't stop. Then he went on to say, or maybe I'll just dedicate the entire Stephen A. Smith Show podcast on YouTube this Monday to all the things you try to do behind the scenes to brothers over the years while claiming someone is more of a brother than others. Let me think about that over the next 24 hours. Sick of this. Enough. Now, of course, T.O. read this, and you know T.O.'s not going to let that slide. He just scolded him on Twitter. So T.O. responds and says, facts, already know. Now I hear he wants to expose me, whatever that means. Then he says, now Stephen A. asks me if I'm scared. I thank God every day, or at least try to, but do what you do best. I'm not worried. You don't have to make some bold attempt to expose me because I have nothing to hide. You're mad because of the advice of my attorney after we filed against ESPN because on air without my consent, you shared our text conversation. I'm not sure that constitutes as desperate, but enlighten us all. So my boy, hone in on me. I'm good. I'm blessed, and God got me. You're still salty about the interview I did with you and Max a few years back, and I said what I said. Today, I'm still Team Max. You got that man fired. That's messed up. You saw me in Colorado. You should have told me about my sorry ass then. Terrell coming out with the cannon. He's like going off. He's firing off on Stephen A. This is like back and forth. It's getting heated. Then lastly, Terrell says, behind what scenes? Again, man, I'm not worried because I stand on my character and who I am. You better come with some facts and not this hearsay and anonymous sources because that's not going to fly. And right now, the time's 4 p.m. on a Saturday, and that's the last tweet Terrell said about the situation. Whoa, what a meltdown from Stephen A. Yeah, and then T.O. came back swinging. We don't know how this is going to end. It's going to be very interesting to see Stephen A.'s podcast on Monday to see if he even mentions T.O. I'm sure he will. Just because the internet is like, it seems to me the internet is Team Max. That's an important part of this is Terrell said, yo, I'm still Team Max. And I feel like the sports world is Team Max. Because the most viral moments of First Take is Stephen A. and Max. Is like, you can't belittle his value on that show and say, oh, the ratings were trash. His takes on sports was trash. The show was falling apart. It was boring and stale. Nobody agrees with him on that. See, and Stephen A. has to realize that story that he's sticking with, that the ratings were low, and that's the reason why he didn't want to work with Max. People don't believe that. My personal opinion, I think it's more has to do with Max. So many times Max would kill Stephen A on social issues, and that just was a bad look for Stephen A. Like, you don't want to be this famous black commentator, famous black sports analyst, and Max is killing you on social issues, world issues, African American social issues. If Max is killing you on those topics, and like black people are siding with Max, and they're like, yo, I don't know what Stephen A on, I just feel like that ate at Stephen A, and after that it soured the relationship. He just wanted Max off the show. Now, that's just my theory. I could be wrong, but I think it has more to do with Max's takes on social issues and not his takes on sports, because everybody that watched First Take with Max and Stephen A absolutely did not hate Max. I don't know anybody that's like, yo, I hated Max, I'm glad he's off the show. They didn't have a problem with Max. They like Max. Yeah, every analyst sometimes has bad takes on sports. I don't know anybody that's always has great takes. I can go to every show on ESPN, and one of the analysts might have a crazy take that I don't agree with. That's just sports. But yeah, Max was definitely not the problem. People saw through that. They know Stephen A forced him out and got him out of there. And to this day, I feel like people still appreciate Max, what he brought to television. And they just see through Stephen A. Stephen A got to take an L on this one. They just see through. Max was a good dude, and you just did him dirty. It is what it is. It's always going to be that, But yeah, let me know what you think about this in the comments, and we'll see how this unfolds on Monday. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.